Hello, this is going to be October 5th, and we are going to be discussing adding numbers. But before we do this real quick, I wanted to just review what we talked about the past week about talking about rounding when we round numbers. And the first thing is you mark the place value to be rounded. What that means exactly is that we are going to type in a number. Let's just do an easy one, 45. And the number that's going to be rounded, I always underline. That's the number that's going to be changed. It's either going to stay the same or it's going to be added one more. So this is either going to be a 40 or a 50. And then I always like to circle the number that is the bossy number, the number that's going to tell the number that's underlined what to do. And everything behind it turns, everything to the right turns to a 0 of the underlined number. So what I mean by that is, like we said, there's a set 4 or less, I say let as rest, or you can say is out of sight. So the 4 stays and it would stay a 40. If it's 4 or less, let it rest. Or if it's 5 or more, you underline buys one more or adds one more. So your choices would be either this 4 turns into a 5 or the 4 stays at a 4. And everything else behind it turns to a 0. And what that exactly means is like this. So what that actually means is, so let's just say this would be a 7. Everything behind it turns into a 0, so it actually would be, you're either going to be 400 or 500. Well, the 5 is 5 or more. Buys one more, adds one more. So the answer to this is 457 would round to 500. Just a quick review for when you're talking about rounding. Adding numbers, you're going to write this into your journal. Then you're going to write this, what is mean by adding numbers. And really we want to discuss add-ins, which are the numbers, however many numbers you add together. Each one of those is called the add-in, and then you find the answer, which is the sum, which is the combined total. All together is would be the sum. So then what I showed the class was just a number line, and just we reviewed how to do this. The very first thing I asked is how many add-ins do I have here? And there are 3 add-ins. There's the 5, the 6, and the 2. And then I just represented it on the number line. So I said, okay, this is Johnny. He had 5 Legos. His friend Timmy had 6, so he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right now, Timmy and Johnny have 11 Legos, and then their friend Angela had 2 more, so then that would be 1, 2, which would get a total. Their sum would be 13. Their sum would be 13. I discussed with them as well as if they remember doubles, like 5 plus 5 is 10, 6 plus 6 is 12, 2 plus 2 is 4. Those type of things. It would make it easier, and how they talked about that when they're in lower grades. And I asked them the question we discussed, so if we have 5 plus 6 plus 2, well, this 2, we could decompose this 2. We could change this 2 to be the same as 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is the same thing as 2. We decompose it. We broke it apart. And what we can do is we can take this 1 here and add it to this 5, which would now change that 5 to a 6. Boom. So now it's 6 plus 6, which we know is a quick double, which is 12. And 12 plus 1 would be 13. Just another quick way to look at and understand how to break apart numbers, and just play with the numbers to make math quicker and easier and faster. And then we just did a couple of the other ones. They're very simple, very just basic ones. So if you have an opportunity, do those, and you can use a number line to do that. The last thing we did before we moved on is I I went here, and we just did 1 because we had a little bit of extra time, and just had them do 56 plus 3. Actually, we did 4 equals, and I asked them the different ways that they did it, and I had a couple people that said they counted on, and all they did is they said 57, 58, 59, 60. So they said the sum was 60. I also had one person that actually did the regrouping, which he said 6 plus 4 is 10, and then you add a 1 to the 5, which would make it 60. Just some different ways. We're going to really work hard tomorrow on doing regrouping and discussing the algorithm for regrouping. All right. Thank you very much. Have a great day.